680 The Fan, we are joined this morning here at the Atlanta Business Chronicle's Business of Sports Summit by Jon Persch. He's the Chief Commercial Officer, USA Rugby, and I love this name, Dom Rumbles, International Rugby Board. Dom, good morning.
Good morning. Great.
As you can tell, Dom's got that voice, right? He's from Dublin.
Well, it lends credibility to this whole
Absolutely,
thing,
it does. We're excited. Tomorrow, we're all coming out. World Cup Rugby at Kennesaw State University. Tell us what we're going to see tomorrow.
Well, actually, tomorrow is the second of two qualifying events to send the United States to the World Cup in England 2015. We tied Uruguay 27-all last week in Montevideo, and so as part of the International Rugby Board qualifying process for Tier 2 nations, it is an aggregate score of two matches, which, as a tie last week, means this is winner take all.
What is a men's national team? What does that mean?
Well, so this is the men's United States national team for rugby, and so in international competition, if you were to liken it to the NFL, it would mean you take the Pro Bowl team from the NFL, and you assemble them, and they represent the country. They represent the United States, and they will then take on the rest of the world's Pro Bowl teams. So when we take on England, when we take on France, when we take on New Zealand, we are in fact taking on their Pro Bowl teams.
So these are the best of the best.
These are the very best that the United States has to offer.
Do we have rugby rankings as well? How does the United States fare?
Yeah, certainly do. So the IRB World Rankings run on a weekly basis after international fixtures, and the US are inside the top 20. They're ranked 18 in the world at the moment. Uruguay are ranked 20 in the world at the moment as well. So certainly it'll be interesting at the weekend. But US have been on the rise, and look, I think it's a very exciting times for US rugby, both on the field internationally, but also growing the game domestically as well. And from an IRB perspective, we're really pleased with the work they're doing.
Yeah, I was telling Dom, having on occasion watched some of it, you'll see it here and there, and it's sort of like American football. It's like NFL football to me without equipment. I mean, those are some tough dudes who play that sport.
Yeah, definitely. But I think, and also it's an interesting one. They're playing for a full 80 minutes without so many stops and starts as well. I mean, it's slightly different as well. You don't have the same sort of level of contact because it's different the way you make your tackles, your defense and offense as well. But it certainly is a physical sport. But it's also a sport that sort of suits all shapes and sizes as well and skill levels. You have, the really quick guys. You have the guys who prop in the front row, who are there to do their job in the scrum. So it really is a game for all shapes and sizes.
Now, you mentioned 29 as a score. Is that a high scoring? I mean,
27, yeah.
20,
so in rugby, you have what amounts to a touchdown. Mm-hmm. So you have what we call a try, and that's worth 5 points.
Right.
The extra point then at that point is 2 points. Mm-hmm. So they'll kick that, and a converted try equals 7 points. But in the difference between American football and rugby, every time you get a penalty, you're getting a kick at goal. So it's very, very dangerous to make penalties inside of a kickable zone, and I think last week we committed far too many penalties in a kickable zone, and Uruguay's got a great kicker, and he turned him over, and that ended up ticking over the scoreboard, getting to a point where it ended up being 27-all.
Is rugby a little bit like the NFL in that they're always tweaking the rules? They're constantly changing the game?
It's a sport of evolution as well. Obviously, it has a lot of history going back to 1823 when William Webb Ellis allegedly first picked up the ball and started this whole process of rugby. But certainly in terms of the rules, yeah, absolutely. You've got to think of entertainment, but you've also got to think of player welfare, and you also have to think about, the way that the athletes evolve as well in terms of their physicality.
You mentioned this 80 minutes long, and there's not a lot of breaks in the action, right?
No, there's absolutely not. You've
got to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, there are no timeouts, and we actually just started to move into a substitution system. So back in the early 90s, there weren't any substitutions. The 15 guys that took the field for each team were the 15 guys that took the field, and that was it. We now have a little bit of depth on the bench, and we're able to have some substitutions, but by and large, you've got 15 guys running full out for 80 minutes.
Well, we're looking forward to being out there on Saturday, and I know that facility at Kennesaw State. I mean, it is a beautiful facility.
Oh, it's fantastic. We were very fortunate enough to have had an Atlanta Women's Sevens event back in early February, or late February, rather. It's a fantastic facility. So if you're coming live, you can come to Kennesaw State, and if you're watching it on TV, it's on Universal Sports.
Yeah, come see it for yourself. We're all going to be out there tomorrow. We look forward to seeing you. If you'd like a couple of tickets, 404- 231-1680. Give us a call now. Jon Persch, thank you for joining us. And Dom Rumbles as well.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.